Hello and welcome to this new video in the SQL section. In this video, we continue further with few other string functions. Mainly, we will learn two functions, concat and concat_ws. And this is a scenario that we are going to cover. Let's say if we have a table called as dim employee, for example, and in this we have few columns will narrow down to, we don't need all the columns. So I'll say employee key, first name, middle name, and last name. Okay, so I have a task wherein I want to combine all these names together and form a full name. So it should be a combination of first name, middle name, and last name. Some of them don't have a middle name, that's why the value is null. So to combine this, there are multiple ways. All right, let us start with the first one. For example, we will take only the names to start with and then we can add any other columns. First name, we can combine them, which is nothing but called as a concatenation operation by using the plus sign. So I can just say first name plus last name, simple. All right, so there you go. However, the first name and last name will get stuck to each other and we need some separator in between. So again, there are multiple ways how you can do the separator thing. I'll show you both. So this is first way. So what do? You combine this with a space, which is nothing but a concatenation operation, which means we are joining it. And along with this joined portion or concatenated portion, we again want to join the last name. That's why I'm saying plus again. Now this would be much better to read. As you can see, there is space between the first and the last name. All right. In case you want to insert a space, SQL gives us a function also called as space. The simple thing is that you need to tell how many spaces you want to insert. So for example, I say 1, you see, so it does the same thing like this. How this useful is, let's say if you wanted to insert more spaces like 5, 7, 6, 8, and at times you could accidentally do less or more. The best thing is to use space in that scenarios. So you can just say space of 5, for example, this way. Okay, but we'll come back to 1. Fine. Now I also want a middle name. So after the space, I say middle name, again then plus, space, all right, and then plus. Now one thing you should always keep in mind, not just about SQL, about any technical thing, that you will learn a lot of things. And no one is going to tell you that, okay, use this, use that. For example, you saw, right, how simple it was to just introduce space for me, because I saw that, need where we can explain this thing by two ways. So you should find ways to use the things. No one is going to come and say, okay, use space function or use single quotes or any other way. You have to find ways to remember them and to use them. Okay. And now we are okay. However, now we will run in a problem. Wherever the middle name is null, we'll have an issue. Look at this. So if I run this statement, here we were having nulls for middle name. So that is an issue. So what happens when you combine null with any other value, the end result will be null. So what we can do is we can put a function over here called as isNull. Another opportunity to learn a new function. So isNull takes in two things. Let me first explain in a separate query. So isNull, the expression and the replacement value. For example, if the value is null, what do you want against that? So if I pass a null value, it will return me 1. But if this value is not null, it will return me the value itself. It will return me the value itself. And that's what I want to do over here. So I say, if is null, then return blank, for example. Okay, we can split this into multiple lines also and then run this. So now it is perfect. Okay, yes, it may happen that now you see two spaces over here. Look at this. If I copy this third employee which didn't have a middle name, what will happen? This one space and this one space will be there. So 1, 2. All right, now that is a problem. We'll solve this problem in a different way. This is one way to do it. All right, just we'll park the space problem aside for some time. Other than this, there is a function called as concat. That's what we want to know. So you can say concat. In concat, you just have to pass your column names. So you say first name, comma, middle name, comma, last name, and run this. However, there is no space in between. So what do? You have to say space of 1, comma, space of 1, comma, and then. So the only difference in between these two methods is here you are using a operator. You're not using any function. But since here you are using a function, you have to pass every input separated by comma. That's it. No plus sign, because the concat function is built to do that operation for you in this way. Alright. And here if you see, we didn't need the is null function over here, because concat has that functionality built in. So if it was null, then it will take care of it. Alright. And there is one more function called as concat underscore ws. ws stands for with separator. So if you want to see the syntax, it will look like the separator and then all the expressions. So what is the difference? Let's say you want space in between every column, first name, space, middle name, space, last name. So what you do is, you don't specify space multiple times. All you do is give the space manually or by using the space function once, and thereafter just pass your column names this way. First name, middle name, last name, and you say from dim employee. That's it. Alright. So what is the benefit is that it will automatically insert a space between first name and middle name, then between middle name and last name. So you avoid repeating your separators. Now your separator can be anything. It need not be space. If you want to give a dash, then you have to specify the dash in single quotes. For example, like this. Simple. Okay. So the best thing is, the only difference between concat and concat underscore ws is you don't have to repeat the separator. And this is helpful when you have like more than 2 columns you want to combine together. If there are 10 columns, so there will be like spaces between each of them, 8 to 9 spaces, and every time you have to hard code this. Instead of that, just give the space or your separator once and just give the column names. It will automatically insert a separator between 2 values for you. Alright. So I would rather prefer using concat underscore ws when I have to concatenate more than 2 columns. This is nothing but the concatenation operation. Alright. And once you're done with this, you can bring your other columns also. You can just say comma, and we'll give this a name, right? Because since we are using custom function, the name goes away, and now I say full name. This is my final finished product. Okay. So these are the things that we would like to do. Although there was nothing hard in this, it was only about getting to know those functions. We covered space, is null, and concat. Now just to extend the scenario further, at times it may happen that you have a column already in the table, but you want to update this in that table. What does that mean? Let's say I have this table, okay? I want to create a backup table out of this so that I can explain you the scenario. So what do? You say select into, so employees BK, and we'll insert this. And let me query this. Select star from this table. Alright. Now let's say there is already a column in this called full name. How do you add a column to existing table? We have not seen that until now. Although I'll give you the statement right now, but I don't want to go much into detail. There is a command called as alter table that we will learn. So alter is nothing but when you want to modify the structure of the table. Like you want to add, delete column or constraints. So you'll just say alter table, add a column called full name, and this should be a varchar, let's say 50. That's it. and now you have this. So now consider that you already have this table, full name is null or blank, and you want to update by combining values. How would you do that? All you have to do is hit an update statement. So update table name, set full name equals, copy that concat expression, paste it. You did not add any where clause because we want to update on all the rows. If you want, add a where clause. Done. And now you run. So there you see, this is the other scenario wherein if the column exists already in the table, you do the update operation. But if you just want to do it on a select, this is how you do. Okay. So hope this was interesting, especially for a beginner who have never seen this. And these are the things that you should know. All right. So that's it in this video. See you in the next one.